Welcome to Zentangle Project Pack No.16 and the 12 days of Zentangle, and this is day 12.
Oh, it went by so fast, right?
My name is Rick.
This is Maria.
And today Maria is going to do some assembly first.
Yes, we're going to stick together a Renaissance tile and a black tile. And then we're going to wait for that to dry. It doesn't actually take that long, right?
Yeah, here in the north, it's very dry.
The North Pole.
And it's what it feels like, actually.
Yeah.
And so just putting that evenly, and you can hold it down with the embossor there too, if you don't want to put your finger on it. And just get it centered, or just get it where you want it before you start to put a lot of pressure on. And because once you do it, that area will stick.
So we have this nice canvas, and I actually love this thing, working on a double-faced Zentangle or tile. It gives it a different texture and firmness.
So these are the materials we're using and loving and appreciating, and we're going to use one of these other Zentangles just to trace it.
So we're going to take a piece of scrap paper.
Oh, that's the one you put together, right?
Yeah, we're going to take a piece of scrap paper and your pencil and go around. Doesn't have to be too dark. And cut it out.
Cut it out.
Cut it out! I used to yell at my brothers and sisters, cut it out! Actually, I didn't yell. I kind of whispered because I didn't yell.
So once this is done, and just take your time with this, because the symmetry lets you find the center.
Right. So we want to fold it in half and half again. This is the real simple way of finding the center. We needed to have sort of a precise center in this particular project we're doing.
Right, so just line up those corners. Make a nice...
Now, I want you all to realize that this is going to be a great tool to have in your toolbox and not to throw away this piece of paper. So we're going to pierce the center as close to the center as you can.
And then just save this, because we're making these tools, and if you wanted to be able to divide a circle into 8, well...
So we're going to line the lines up and fold it again so that we have an eight-sided...
or 8 pie piece.
Yes. So I think the Marcus Operandus did that, right?
Right.
The first time. But if you don't have a Marcus, this is another thing, another way.
Make your own. Awesome. So now that you have that, you can keep that in your Zentangle kit just as a nice reference for finding centers and dividing in quarters, halves, or eighths.
Right. So make sure it's exactly in the middle of your Zentangle, and we're just going to mark the middle.
So now we have the center. Perfect.
Now pierce this with a large needle like what I'm using, or a nail.
And this will all make sense.
Yes.
So this is useful for when somebody else finds it and they say, "What's this for?"
And I'm just marking these. This is what you'll use to someday mark off a Zentangle if you are doing a more balanced piece.
And we invite you to make your own strings and divisions and
And here I am doing this bizarre amoeba-like thing. As long as it comes together in the end, this is your string. How cool is that, right?
Well, it's like a giant Pangea reticula.
So we're going to aura this.
With the micron PN, I think. Yeah. Turning your tile.
Awesome.
Right?
Yep.
So Maria's going to have her own way of making these divisions. And just eyeballing, right?
I'm eyeballing this because it didn't have to be exactly right for this particular project.
So once you pick one side, if you line that up with the center, it'll automatically be right where you want it.
It's not in the middle of that Pangea.
Right. So all of this is relatively approximate. Right?
Beautifully approximate.
Right. So restate that.
And we're going to aura on both sides of it. So restate that line, aura left and aura right.
Again, I keep marveling at the beautiful texture just of those lines. Even when you make a straight line, it's got character all the way.
Right.
That's awesome.
We're working with the PN, and the PN, you can press quite hard and get different. I mean, you can press real hard with the other ones, but I don't know how long the tip is going to last. But these PN, the plastic nib, that's why it's called PN, allows you to do that.
Right, it probably sounds like to some people we just don't know how to pronounce pen.
Right, a PN. Okay, so we're going to mark off every other, wait a minute. I wanted you to mark off every other one, but let's go through and mark all of them.
Now
This
that we've
is what
done
happens when you make a mistake that actually doesn't make that much of a difference. So let's try this again. In every other one of these spaces, let's delineate it so that we'll know which ones to use. Okay, so the way I'm going to do it is I'm going to aura that dot on every other one. So sorry, guys.
But that's part of what we say all the time is if you make, an unanticipated change, just repeat that change and it becomes a new pattern. Like here.
Trying to do this on camera is always a little bit different than having a wonderful meditation by yourself.
And so at this point, well, let's walk our own talk and, well, what can I do with this?
Right. So I'm going to start out on each one of these sections that have the aura dot with a beautiful spiral. And we're going to do printemps, which is one of the tangles we first teach when we do like a beginner's class, or when we're not sure of the people in the class if they've ever done Zentangle before. It's a great tangle that teaches you how to use the principle of Halaba in a different way.
And we'll usually teach this. We teach aura or Crescent Moon first, which teaches aura. And then we teach Halaba, which teaches drawing behind. And then if we do printemps, you'll notice that printemps is auraing itself, and then the relationship to the ones next to it is drawn behind.
So you can see when I go to do another one of these spirals, I go up close. I start up close so that it has to go behind. That way, it's a more interesting composition than just having them, circled around evenly. That's kind of fun, right?
And I like in this case where they're not all the same size.
Right. sort of a, yeah.
Like what you did with the tipple in the other one.
Right. So going into the middle, and that's pretty much going to be the larger of the crew. Going up close to it and going behind as you're coming around those spirals.
And it makes sense that the one closest to you might appear to be the larger one. So you did get the alternating.
I did finally get the alternating thing going on, which was important for this particular piece I'm doing. So we're going to aura that dot in the middle, that hole, and
sort of the diameter,
it's a little bit bigger than the diameter, about the diameter,
close, yeah.
a little bit bigger.
Always, if you can, auraing to the side of the item you're auraing in a way that doesn't cover your reference line. So those little triangular things are pointing.
Like petals or something, yeah.
So
You're
like
pointing to the
like a
floor.
compass rose almost.
Yeah.
Just a little detail.
So we're going to be doing a tangle called Daniel Lamoth. What was it called?
It was based on a dream catcher.
Like a dream. I think he called it dream catcher.
Okay.
So after we put in those triangular shapes, we're going to make a V shape that joins the tips, and that's exactly how you just keep doing that. And if you keep the curve of the line that you're extending, you can see that the curve it elongates.
Right. It gets bigger because the top of the V is wider, so you necessarily use a bigger V. And if anybody's ever strung a dream catcher, you start from the outside and they get smaller as you go to the center. But when you draw a dream catcher, you use this to start from the center and go to the outside.
It's a beautiful image, right?
And when you think of it, this is another reticula.
Yes. Well, we're going to use it as a reticula today. Right.
So taking this new idea for a spin. And then as it gets to that random Pangea shape, it just goes behind. But you notice Maria draws literally behind, so you get a sense of, as you hover over it, where it would be.
And these don't have to be exact. They'll have character of their own, and you'll figure it out as you go along.
So now let's put something in them.
We're going to do a Crescent Moon, starting out in those first triangles, just one moon in each one. You can see how cool is Crescent Moon on its own like that.
Right. And again, that nice solid ink is a great focal point. Corner to corner, fill it in, aura. Just do that all the way around. Sort of a Dr. Seuss-esque thing going on.
It does look like that, right? So in the next one, we're going to do maybe a curvier version of it, because they're no longer triangles. They're more of a like a
diamond shape.
Like a diamond or squarish kind of shape.
So nestling that right in the corner. And then again, aura. So that's the second round of these.
Right. So you'll be doing 8 of each of these because you have 8 points on this compass rose here.
Right. Right. And remember, rotating your tile. She's left a few highlights there, I see.
I love the simplicity of this whole tile so far,
Right. Really basic tangles.
Right. So on the next flight around, we're going to add some
like bales-esque?
like bales from corner to corner, like a curve, like we were tracing a Zentangle, right?
Right.
And,
It's actually like Shion.
Yeah,
Remember that pattern?
Yeah. So again, we're going to go in, but we've changed the shape of the interior just a little, just for fun.
Right. So the aura doesn't go over those bales-like shape.
Right.
And if you look up in the newsletter, I think we did a release of Shion, which is spelled Chillon. And it was a pattern we saw on a door in an old castle in Montreux in Switzerland.
Yeah. It was
The
beautiful.
Chateau de Chillon. That looks really nice. And leaving that little empty space makes a big difference.
So again, we're going to do that Chillon or bales shape, which changes the shape a little bit of the interior. And these are all simple patterns that Crescent Moon, it doesn't get more simple than that.
Mm. So really taking it back to basics here with the tangles we're using. Enjoying where they would be in all those shapes.
Oh, cool. So I just needed to put some Knightsbridge in. I had gone a day or so without doing Knightsbridge, and it's all over our house. And
Not going to happen.
This just makes me smile when I see. That's why I have it around the house, is that I can, grab my smiles whenever I want them.
Right. So you always have Knightsbridge in your pen.
Yes.
And Maria has some ribbon that's like Knightsbridge, and it finds its way onto many things.
Yes.
And you'll see it in some of the pictures of that, if you're following this on the 12 days of Zentangle, that a lot of the characters in the tableaus are wearing Knightsbridge.
Right. Okay, so then we have these random dots there. What are we going to do with that? Because they weren't supposed to be there. So let's draw a diamond shape, like a diamond shape around each one, and see where it takes us. I was going to leave them blank, but you know what? I think I'm going to like having just the little dingbat in there.
Yeah. And it echoes the diamond shape inside the Dreamcatcher too. So
Sure.
I like that.
True that.
And you have an alternating thing going on because you've got the round printemps alternating with the straight edge diamond.
Okay, what should we do? Okay, aura.
When in doubt.
Aura is your friend.
And again, you see how Maria turned the tile so you can easily orient your line.
Okay, so we're going to do that bales thing again to make it sort of go with the interior. How fun is that?
Right? Very simple.
And again. And that dot just disappeared. I don't have to worry about that dot looking
Where
me in
did
the
it
face.
go? Nicely done. Nicely done.
So now you have a jewel in each corner.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun, right?
I like that random shape. That really is brilliant.
With the Pangea in the beginning?
Yeah. It's just so unexpected because everything else is so symmetrical.
Right. I had to shoot that down right from the
Right.
beginning. I'm just not a symmetrical
Asymmetry
kind of guy.
warning. So let's give these a little bit of dimension here. So,
Adding graphite. You can see that really dark stuff in the middle. Now it's looking almost like it's being crocheted or something, right?
yeah. You can see the setup for getting the tortillon out here. Just pointing the tip of the pencil where you want it.
The stripes and the black dots, they almost look like bees, right? A bunch of bees buzzing around.
Oh, yeah. Those could be wings. And holding your tortillon at a low angle.
And I love this, the darkness in the center. See how that gets really dark? I like that.
Just leaving a little bit of highlight there. Turning your tile. And then just inviting all of that graphite into the paper and just touching it, even if it doesn't go, even if you're not moving it to a different place, it has this, like you said, the graphite takes on a different character.
Right. So let's add graphite all around the edge here so that that first larger spiral that you put down still comes to the foreground.
Yeah, it really gives that sense of alternation there.
Right. So now you can see the shadows bringing the light up.
And look how much the white part of the Knightsbridge jumps out in contrast to the shadow next to it.
Yeah.
I like this. This is something new that we've been doing, or Maria's been doing, which is this aurage shadowing.
So we're just going in the bumps there, I don't know what else to call that, and adding some graphite, and then we're going to slowly dissipate it throughout there. Is that the right word?
It'll do.
It'll do. So watch this. This is just magic, right?
Right? It's very fun and very simple, great effect. And you can use this around any tile, or any shape that has some space around it. Just aura the graphite a little bit away. And then you can tease it out with the tortillon.
Wow, you almost don't even see it, except that you wonder, is it been cut up? Or
Right.
What is it? It looks like it's doing strange things.
And the result is this whole presentation that looks really complicated, but you know that each step was very, very simple and deliberate the whole way along.
In these project packs, we try to teach you as many things as possible that you can add to your own tiles in a sort of similar way, but in your head, how it translates.
Right? Make it your own.
Yeah. So we're going to add,
So
we added the white chart.
added the white charcoal, yeah.
Yeah. And now we're going to go and highlight those little crescent moons.
Just adding a little bit of sparkle there. And even in that, and you're using the white. And it's sort of like, in the dark one, it's like the yin-yang symbol. In the dark one, there's a white spot, and in the light one, there's a dark spot. Pretty cool.
So we're going to bring those first spirals up.
Sort of just lifts them off the page. It's pretty sweet. And I think this is another action of, responding to the tile and how the tile communicates with you.
So with the white jelly roll, we're going to put a very up close to the edge aura.
Aura around the edge, yeah. And a light pressure on the jelly roll. That's all it takes. In fact, it actually works better with a light pressure.
You can see me just clear the tip. And I find that these particular pens work better in a vertical way as opposed to when you can work the microns at an angle.
So we got some doodah showing here.
Doodah, which is one of my favorites. It's so simple. It looks like the teeth on a zipper.
Right. As in zippity.
Yes.
Right. It's a very simple and amazing visual effect.
And
I love this.
You don't see it until you stop drawing, and then you set back for a minute and, oh my gosh, this is a cool tangle, right?
And you can do it. Oh, and so
Any
if
way
you
you
make
want.
oops, just
I made a mistake.
make something of it. So without that little oops, there wouldn't be this little zinger, right?
Yeah. But it'll be your favorite part of the whole tile, right? How did you know to do that?
Right.
Well, the tile told me to.
Right. So it's just a nice little touch where maybe no one would even think to notice.
Right. I love that. Look at that. How fun.
Sort of like a ding splat beginning.
Yeah. I love ding splats.
So there's a nice little
so this is
present
the flip
on the
side.
back.
We're not going to do too much on the
Right,
flip
this
side.
is the B side.
The B side, yeah.
Okay, so now that we've got this.
It looks pretty good, right? Sign.
Get our chop on there. And you'll notice that in this white, Maria didn't use the tortillon on it. So it's got a different texture, like almost a marbling texture instead of just the same even white coating. So all of this, it can be in your repertoire.
A lot of times I just rub my hand against it lightly to get the excess chalk off.
All right. So now we have a little bit of mechanical changes here.
So I'm taking this thing and making the hole a little bit bigger. And then probably on the other end too.
So exactly, just wiggling this around, getting it large.
Making it a little bit bigger. Using anything around to make things a little bit bigger right now.
So you see she's supported either side of the pencil with her two fingers on the back.
On the back, right.
And just as much as possible, keeping that hole in the middle. Just ripping it through. There we go. Okay. So we now have the hole as big as you want it.
So I'm sharpening my pencil, but then I'm going to scribble around to make it so that it's not too pointy. You want it sharp but not pointy.
But a little rounded, yeah.
Right.
So we've got a rounded tip.
This had to be the last tile.
Right.
In the series.
Because we're going to take your pencil from you.
We're going to take your pencil and you're never to be seen again. We're going to add a little bit of this magic stuff, the Mod Podge, and
That's it for the tortillon, too.
Yeah, well, I took one that I knew I didn't use.
Got some glue in there. Or some Mod Podge in there.
Mod Podge. And we're going to throw the pencil in.
But not too far through. A little ways through.
You want it to be about an inch and a half? Inch and a half?
Maybe
or 2
a
inches?
third or a little less than a third.
Right. Grab the
About
glue.
that far.
So what you want to look at it and have that going pretty straight. And I took that excess that's was pushed down on the other side. You could see it, and make sure that's sticking really well. And I think I have it on a glass or something,
right.
so that it's. Oh, look at me! I have to do that.
What? No white highlight?
So
how cool!
Here we go.
So thank you for
spin.
taking it for a spin. Thank you so much for having fun with us, and thank you for being with us for this whole project pack and the 12-day series. We're going to do a wrap-up video after this. Much love, everybody. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye now.